Happy New Year and a very warm welcome to our first 2011 edition of DW TV's business magazine Made in Germany. I'm Monica Jones. Well, party time is over. Time to tackle some of the challenges ahead of us. Here's a look at our agenda.
A century of fine furniture. The Ursula Meyer Company in southwestern Germany. Opportunities in the east. Booming Kazakhstan attracts German investors. And all systems go. German machinery helps build the world's longest wastewater tunnel.
The new year has brought some milder weather to Europe, with temperatures now hovering just above freezing. But even the current thaw hasn't quite managed to melt away all that snow and ice that's still covering most of our streets and sidewalks. This year's extreme weather conditions have once again put Germany's winter services industry to the test. Demand for grit and special machinery outnumbers availability. In cooperation with Germany's leading financial daily Handelsblatt, we went to southern Germany to visit the Küpper-Weisser company, which has been designing and selling road maintenance machinery for over 75 years. Today, their products are keeping the roads clear across the world.
175 kilometers of icy Autobahn lie ahead, and it all needs to be strewn with salt before the rush hour traffic begins. Winter road maintenance crews are the heroes of the day. Without them, Germany would come to a standstill.
We chose this job, so we have to see it through. On call, day and night. That's how it is.
10 degrees below freezing. Without the salt, the road would be too slick to drive on. Küpper-Weisser's yard in Bräunlingen in the Black Forest hasn't been treated. But without the company, nothing would move on Germany's roads. It has a workforce of 200, building spreading machines. But at the moment, 30 temps are also needed to fill all the orders. Its biggest customers are municipal and local authorities. An early winter with lots of snow is ideal for Küpper-Weisser.
You really see it in the spare parts business. At the moment, our problem is that the severe winter puts a strain on government budgets because they have to buy so much salt, and there might not be enough money to buy new machines. So the old equipment gets repaired, and they buy fewer new machines.
Spreading machines are to a great extent made by hand. Every customer wants something different. In Germany, a lot of dry salt is still strewn with spreader plates like these. In Italy, a salt solution is often sprayed from canisters. Whether liquids can be used depends on how far below zero the temperature is. This model sprays de-icing fluid in a swath up to 32 meters wide, but it's not suitable for normal roads. It was custom built for an airport in Madrid.
What's special about this vehicle is that it can be used on all air traffic surfaces. That means we can strew in various widths on runways, but also the taxiing strips on the big airports.
The de-icing sprayer was scheduled to arrive in Spain long ago. But snow has made road transport impossible. The airport has no choice but to wait. Customers currently have to wait in line at the workshop. These men come from a road maintenance depot in southern Germany. They urgently need a strewing vehicle. They ordered it 3 months ago, long before winter began. And now it's finally ready. Their new strewing attachment cost about 50,000 euros. It will already go into action tomorrow morning.
And for more on this story, click onto handelsblatt.com. That's the website of Germany's leading financial daily, or you can go to our own site, and that's dwworld.de. Well, unique furnishings instead of ready-made. They come at a price, of course, but there seem to be plenty of people who don't mind paying a little extra for something nice. And that's certainly one reason why Ursula Meyer and Company in southwestern Germany has been successfully handcrafting furniture for 100 years. Now, in its fourth generation, the family firm is currently run by Sarah Meyer, who took over the helm from her mother. Two women entrepreneurs who are getting ready to go global with their unique products.
In this carpentry workshop, hands-on is the rule for Ursula Meyer and her daughter Zara. They even personally select the veneer for every piece of furniture. They examine the patterns made by the tree rings and the grain of the wood.
It's the curiosity, the desire to be a pioneer, to take a lead with all these carpenters and joiners looking for new possibilities. What does the future have in store? What do customers want, and how can we engage them emotionally?
The pieces of veneer are joined using a hot melt adhesive. The company specializes in designs with wood paneling. It has 32 employees, and she is the boss. Zara Meyer has been running the family business for 5 years. When she took over from her mother, she took a number of steps to modernize the company. She got rid of holiday and Christmas pay and introduced a system of profit sharing instead.
I'm accepted differently as a woman than if I were a man. Plus, I don't act like I know everything better. I never trained to be a carpenter. I studied architecture and economics. I have respect for what the people here do, and sometimes I have to ask questions like, why are we doing it this way?
Every piece is custom-made and unique. The veneer on this stereo cabinet is made of apple wood, with patterns of heartwood.
This is one of a kind because the tree is absolutely unique. Even we've never seen anything like it.
The remarkable cabinet will sell for several thousand euros. Zara is in charge of the figures. The company has annual sales of 3 million euros. Zara's mother, Ursula, who headed the firm for 27 years, is now responsible for design.
It's clear what role each of us plays. Now that I've turned the company over to my daughter, I'm artistic advisor to her and the company. I love being able to concentrate on my passion. And now I'm much happier going to work every day.
Ursula was 30 years old when she took over the helm from her father. Her daughter Zara was 28 when she became managing director. The company was established in 1910 by Zara's great-grandfather. He turned the business over to his son, who traveled the world. He invented a number of woodworking machines in collaboration with his colleagues and took out 70 patents. Markgrüningen is a small town near Stuttgart. It was a flourishing community as far back as the 15th century. It's a fitting location for the Meyers company.
We have a very strong tradition of craftsmanship here in Württemberg. We have the best vocational training, and we always strive to influence development through competitions. And we work together with many other very strong craft enterprises here.
This wealthy region is home to 3 million people. One of the reasons the Meyers say they would never move away.
Well, it sounds like the whole region there is looking towards a bright future. And for more, we're joined by Jörg Rocholl from the European School of Management and Technology. Happy New Year, first of all.
Happy New Year.
But tell us, how happy is this year 2011 going to be for us, considering the Eurozone still has to overcome the crisis it's in right now?
I think that the situation for Germany at this point of time is quite optimistic. We have a really modest unemployment rate. We have a relatively high growth rate. At the same time, we see that investments in Germany are picking up. So this is all positive and should lead to optimism. At the same time, there's a dark cloud. And this is exactly the situation of the Eurozone and the situation in some of the countries of the Eurozone, which looks much worse.
OK, there is some cautious optimism coming from the International Monetary Fund. Their outlook, they expect some healthy growth in 2011. We have some figures here we can take a look at now. According to the IMF, Germany can expect 2% growth, France 1.6%, the US 2.3%. And leading the pack, of course, China, who else, with an expected 9.6% growth figure. But we're talking about a forecast. So things can still change, of course. How valid is this forecast?
Well, we've seen in the past that forecasts change a lot and are never quite as precise as they should be. As an example, last year nobody would have expected such a dramatic growth in Germany. So we have to be cautious about these figures. But certainly it's true that we are on a very solid growth path in Germany. But we have to observe what is happening around us. And this will be the main threat, the main challenge for economic growth.
And a lot is happening around us. Let's stay with China. China just bought Spanish bonds, and Portugal and Greece maybe next in line. That means that pours a lot of money into their state coffers, but at the same time China gains in influence. Is that good or bad for Europe?
Well, certainly what we can observe, or what we have observed over the last years, is that China tries to gain more and more influence, not only in Europe, but also in other continents. For example, raw resources have become very valuable. Thus, China has grown its influence in Africa, for example. Now we see that they are also trying to get more influence in those countries in which they sell their products. In Southern Europe in particular, because it may mean that they can use these as hubs for transporting their goods through, say, Greek ports into Germany. And this is something we need to be aware of.
Is that something we should be worried about here in Europe, or is this just a development that we have to sort of accept?
Overall, it's, of course, welcome if we see foreign investments to come in. It will only become difficult at the point of time where political influence will follow the economic investments. And this is something we need to be very careful and need to watch.
And so the new year 2011 is still very young. We just talked about a few challenges that we're aware of already. There might be more in store. All in all, what do you make of the coming year? Where is Europe and where is Germany? Are we ready to take it on?
I would say I'm mildly optimistic about specifically the situation in Germany, but certainly the big challenge for us will be the euro and how to deal with the problems in the Eurozone.
OK, there's no way around that. Jörg Rocholl, thank you very much for joining us. Well, success or failure can sometimes be personal or else lie in the eye of the beholder. But in economic terms, success is mostly identical with growth. And that leads us to our new question of the week. Does the economy have to keep on growing? What do you say? Tell us. Just go to our website at dwworld.de/English/Made in Germany, and that's all one word. Fill in our online questionnaire and you'll automatically qualify for our next draw. The prize is this DVD. It's called German Family Business. And as always, we look forward to hearing from you. Last year, we wanted to know your personal wishes for 2011. Now, apart from peace on earth, which is certainly a wish we share with all of you, we also received many New Year's greetings from our viewers and gladly passed them on to the whole DWTV team. Thanks for your kind wishes, and we hope our stories and reports will keep you well informed in the new year too. And having said that, let us take you to the world's 9th largest state in size, Kazakhstan. The country's economy has been growing fast over the past few years, mainly due to its rich resources, which attract foreign investors. Among them, German companies such as steel giant ThyssenKrupp and Siemens. Both companies hope to profit from Kazakhstan's booming economy. And we went to ThyssenKrupp's factory site in Karaganda and to Kazakhstan's capital Astana to learn more about the country's business opportunities.
Alexander Sutyaginsky, General Director of Silicium Kazakhstan, has a problem. He can't get into his office. No one knows where the key is. Everything here is still new. He manages to find a desk in the adjacent office. The head of the silicon plant has some important papers to sign. Work here started just a few days back. This administration floor still has a lot of free space. The investors have planned generously. New employees will soon be occupying the rooms. The director seems optimistic too. If all goes well, the plant's costs can be covered in 6 to 7 years. The facility is expected to produce 25,000 tons of metal a year to begin with.
Everything here is constructed according to European standards. The equipment is from Germany. We have German personnel here for it. It was all set up according to EU guidelines.
Kazakh and Russian investors have a share in the plant. ThyssenKrupp played a major role in pushing the work forward, but owns only a minority share. The silicon metal produced here goes to Western Europe. There, it's processed for applications like solar panels or electronic chips. There were plenty of teething problems and bureaucratic hurdles. And there were difficulties with Kazakh banks, which faced crisis during the global financial meltdown. That was a major setback to the plant's finances. The blast furnace started operating 2 years later than planned.
The main problem was the crisis. We would have had losses if we'd produced metal then. But now the price is even higher than it was before the crisis, which is why we can start production right away, and we're sure that we can sell our metal for good money.
The plan is to double production in the coming years. Natural resources such as oil, uranium, coal, or cobalt are the source of Kazakhstan's wealth. Astana is its capital city. The country is run from here. Companies complain about corruption and the lack of legal frameworks, but Kazakhstan is eager to improve its image, trying to woo European investors with tax concessions and special economic zones.
Our economy is more resource-oriented economy, but we have to diversify it and to make it more competitive, to create a competitive environment, to develop our small and medium-sized enterprises, and to bring foreign direct investments to Kazakhstan to bring a new technology.
Siemens was one of the first foreign companies that managed to withstand the initial difficult conditions. It equipped this maternal and child health center. Olga Gunko traveled 300 kilometers to the capital with her daughter Daria to get the 3-year-old checked at this modern clinic.
I'm here because the doctors are highly qualified and because the medical care and facilities here are good. We don't have such services in our hometown.
Demand for ultrasound devices or X-ray machines like this one is rising, and the hospitals here are modernizing. The state has the money for it, thanks to economic growth and its natural resources. This CT scanner is new too. The baby is being examined because its kidneys are not developing properly. Every millimeter of the organ is being scanned. The device takes more than 100 pictures during the procedure.
This system can take so many pictures that you can obtain a 3D image. And that helps us diagnose the patient more accurately.
The images show that the child must be operated on. It's routine surgery. Siemens is a market leader in medical equipment. It's just one of 200 German companies currently in Kazakhstan. Many are in the trade sector, construction industry, or engineering. Kazakhstan's healthcare provision is good compared to other Central Asian countries, partly thanks to German technology. But many, like Olga Kunko, still have to travel long distances to benefit from it.
Time now to cross the Atlantic for the second part of our series La Máquina, drilling tunnels in Mexico. In cooperation with the Mexican authorities, the German company Knecht, which specializes in machines for drilling tunnels, is helping build a 62-kilometer-long water waste tunnel. Today we'll witness the handover from Germany of one boring machine and watch preparations so that digging can start.
Mexico City has a wastewater problem. The sewage system tends to overflow at various points across the city. A few months ago, the Mendoza's home was full of stinking sludge. To solve the problem, the authorities are building the world's longest wastewater tunnel, using machines from Germany. From Schwanau, to be precise, where they're made by the Knecht company. These enormous pieces of equipment are designed to dig huge tunnels. A delegation from Mexico has come for the handover of the first of 3 tunnel boring machines. José Luis Luege is the head of the Mexican National Water Commission, CONAGUA. The S497 is not just impressively big and complex, it's also like a big toy.
You have this to use the telescope cylinders. You have the blue one on the left side and the red one on the right side.
All right.
You can.
Each newly dug stretch of tunnel is lined with concrete segments. The machine is hydraulically powered. It's operated by remote control.
The wastewater tunnel is strategically important for the Mexican government. That's why it has to be built as quickly as possible. For me, the quality, reliability, and efficiency of a company like Knecht is very important.
Knecht may be a market leader, but such large orders don't come around every day. At the handover ceremony, CEO Martin Knecht invites his guests to join him in pushing a symbolic red button.
1, 2, 3.
Knecht is planning to build a plant outside Germany and has opened an office in Mexico.
From Mexico, you can supply North America and South America without having to pay any customs duties. So it's a very important location, especially if you consider that labor costs there are relatively low.
But first, this machine has to get to work as soon as possible, 9,000 kilometers away in Mexico. Miguel Guevara is heading north out of town to one of the building sites for the tunnel. The tunnel will be 60 kilometers long, so he has lots of traveling to do. Guevara is in charge of the entire wastewater tunnel project. Work is already well underway at several sites, even before the drilling machines arrive. A huge hole is being excavated. This will be the lowest point of the new tunnel, 200 meters below the surface. One of the boring machines will start its work here.
We're working at the same time in 6 different locations. We'll lower the machines to the bottom of the vertical shafts so they can start digging the tunnel.
Much of what is now Mexico City used to be a lake. This is what's left of it. There's still water underground. That's a problem we'll come back to. This is where one end of the future tunnel will be. One of the boring machines will start here. The various machines will all be working at the same time, since time is short. They have a deadline of September 2012.
La Ciudad de México y los municipios conurbados con ella hoy en
At
día.
present, Mexico City and the towns nearby are all dependent on a single tunnel. So if there is a problem, it turns into a disaster. That's why we're all working so hard on this new tunnel. I'll show you the older one.
The present tunnel is close by. It's called the Central Tunnel and dates from the 1970s. On average, it currently conveys 40 cubic meters of wastewater per second. That's double the amount it carried when it went into operation.
When there's a big storm, the tunnel overflows. We need 10 times its current capacity.
Join us next week to see the machines from Germany arrive. But then flooding, the problem they're trying to solve, causes disruptions. Events underground take a dramatic turn.
That's all for now. See you soon.